Welcome back to our Better Angels. This is part 3 of Case 1. Part 3 is entitled Reflections. Last session, the group finally came together, but they ended up back at the Revels estate. Now, that's not where Raymond Revels stays. That is where Raymond's father once lived, but sold the house to an individual named Adam, who owns the house, and according to at least one of the members of this group, isn't alive. But yet, he is inviting 3 other members of the group in for tea. So just to be sure, Arthur Haynes, Otmar Pinier, and Henry Fitzgerald are engaging with Adam and his new fiancée to talk, while Bianca is being driven into town by Raymond. Is that correct?
I didn't think we said we were leaving.
You're staying then.
I thought you weren't.
I'm not going inside.
Oh.
You weren't invited inside was the thing. The other
Right,
three
you
of us
weren't
were.
invited.
She just made a small sum of money and probably stuffed it down her shirt.
Yes.
John-
Go buy a brand new car.
Yeah, I don't. Originally, the plan was to get back to tell the sheriff about, hey, what happened. But now we called and everything like that. So now it's not really go back to town. It's more.
And also, the sheriff has been out and left. So that means that he either thinks you're crazy or you don't know what he thinks.
Yep, exactly. So
And-
right now she's just trying to figure stuff out. She's in shock.
Also,
Jody, but you didn't say anything to the other player characters about what you understand to be true about the Adam and the fiance, right?
Adam,
No, I told you guys that she was
You
dead.
told
That's
us.
why we're here.
Yeah, he said he saw dead bodies and everything, and that's why we rushed over so fast.
With the same markings that were carved into the floor, and she was a sacrifice.
well, the floor markings were the same markings that she saw on your
Well, that,
On the mirrors.
that's
the
not what
mirror.
I meant. But you did tell us that. But what at the end of the last session, you actually had some sort of a check where you were 100% sure that you were not hallucinating, right?
Right, yeah.
But you didn't tell us
still,
about
He
that part.
is.
I'm still in shock. I mean, you would have heard her go, no, she was absolutely dead. And then she
Okay.
tried to pull herself together to get the money, and she still is grumpy.
Fair.
Okay. So then Bianca and Raymond, you're outside. The 3 of you are allowed into the house, and after a very short stint in the very small kind of foyer space, which doesn't have a lot of furnishings other than a very well carved coat rack, which currently has a single coat hanging from it. The coat in question seems to be a roughly worn, kind of long, kind of like late 19th century kind of full coat or full jacket. And no feminine jackets of any kind. Obviously, it's summer. Probably not coat traveling weather. But yeah, you'd enter into the living room. Again, I do not know how much detail. Again, the runes were mentioned, carved on the ground. There doesn't appear to be any carvings on the ground. Nice hardwood floor. Area rug kind of in the center. With a simple round kind of coffee level table kind of in the center. Not particularly well carved. Looks like something possibly bought at like, a swap meet or something. And the couches are also equally kind of like tacky. Would be the best way to describe them. The mantle does have an intricacy in its carving. It seems like whoever carved the coat rack, the same individual who carved the mantelpiece.
We know the mantle was carved by Raymond's grandfather.
Correct.
That was explicitly mentioned
Correct.
by Adam, I think.
Gabriel? Yeah.
It wouldn't be hard for
Is his last name Gabriel?
No, for his first name is Gabriel.
Gabriel Rebels.
The grandfather.
Oh, Gabriel is the grandfather. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adam doesn't carve shit.
It wouldn't be hard to figure. What?
The coat rack or a coat hanger. It's like the coat stands.
Yeah.
It seems that it was carved by the same individual.
Are there anything strange about the carvings on it? Any symbols, picked images that would be of interest?
So the long coat kind of blocks it. And my presumption is due to the heat, folks aren't really wearing kind of overcoats. So if you want to shed your your blazer, you could. It might come off as a bit weird, because I mean, if you're wearing a blazer, you're wearing a blazer, right?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. And so what I would do would be to say to Adam, if he's still there, oh, it's quite hot outside. Do you mind if I hang up my coat?
Yeah, not a problem. And he kind of heads into the living room, and he'll say to his fiance, "Please go and put some water on the kettle. We'll make some tea, and if we have any of that bread remaining, we can maybe serve that with it. Sweet bread."
And then so as I put my coat on the coat rack, I would take a scan around the room to see if I could see any kind of objects. I don't expect to see occult signs because that's not what's happening here. But any objects that seem like maybe of archaeological significance, anything that seems old, and then so I'm taking a scan, then I'm looking after that at the coat rack
You
itself.
kind of like pull the full jacket aside and kind of start hanging your coat while taking a gander at the wood.
Yep.
And it was obviously kind of noticeably well designed, but you didn't really have an idea of what it was designed to be. Just, you could tell that there was craftsmanship put into it. So the base of it appear to be a series of 3 like eagle legs that are kind of outstretched and kind of are used as the foundation of the coat stand. The pillar, or kind of main mast of the coat rack, appears to have been carved to be 2 serpents intertwined straight up in a helix, or double helix rather, as that kind of core position. And then the 3 kind of arms of the coat hanger, one being kind of occupied by the large coat, they appear to all have kind of connection to that core portion. The 2 heads that are not currently covered by a coat appear to have serpentine heads kind of curled up and kind of like pointed inwards, so that when you hang your coat, it kind of hangs over the mouth of, or snoot of the snake, the official term. The one that has the full jacket on it would be kind of, you'd have to move the full coat to kind of get a gander at it. But based on what you're looking at, there's just the 2 curled snakes and the 2 snake heads. So the third one, if it's a snake head, would be kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you mind if I ask one more question?
Sure.
Thinking back to my sort of understanding of the occult, would I recognize these serpents as being representative of any kind of like demonic figure?
Obviously, there are a shit ton of serpent.
I know, especially. Yeah, I know.
But what's most notable for you is that there are a pair of snakes coiled together with 2 heads. And a lot of the imagery that you've seen so far in Gabriel's work has been Ark related. And if you're familiar with the story of Noah's Ark, you would know 2 by 2.
Yep.
If it seems like Arthur's sort of making a meal of looking at the coat rack, I'm gonna try to dissuade from the awkward situation and just sort of keep talking to Adam.
Okay. And so Adam is kind of moved,
sort of entreat him for a tour of his home.
He's kind of moved into
been so kind as to let us in.
He's kind of moved into the living room, and after that kind of conversation point with Arthur, has kind of just dismissed it. So as you're kind of like, entering,
I'm looking to distract, so it looks like Andy has the time to admire or
check,
investigate. Yeah.
It looks like he's kind of moved into the room and has taken a seat at a very luxurious-looking kind of high-backed chair. It's luxurious looking, but you obviously, kind of being a person of wealth and taste, understand that it's leather, but it's not very well made. It's got cool wooden wings and kind of like, a high back.
They get the Sears catalog out here.
Yeah. They must do. So, it's nice. Ish. But it definitely seems like it's kind of someone trying to, have a centerpiece that's not anywhere as glorious in your eyes
Sure.
as the mundane.
These things happen. What was Adam's last name again? I forget.
Great question that I
I apologize.
have to go to my notes for. I was hoping to
I
avoid.
I have
I'm
it.
saying it was like Dern or something. I know Baird is the mayor.
Gaudin, Gaudin.
Godin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Godin, won't you please tell me about your home? It's clearly you have an eye for style.
Well,
I see you furnished it well.
it's bigger than the home I had back in downtown Bico. And, Mr. Rebels was under some, financial issues. And I also knew a little bit about his family history, was hoping to find some of the treasures within. Unfortunately, I haven't found anything that I think would be worth anything.
What sort of treasures? I've only heard bits and pieces about the man. What is it that he did that was so impressive?
Well, he was a craftsman, and there was a lot of his manufacture that had, at least people in town would say, had like magical treasures in them, like gemstones and gold. But I haven't found any of that, so I doubt the genuine nature of the claims. The house is really nice, though, and I got it for quite the steal, so I guess I don't mind as much not getting everything.
Yes, you would think his son, running into financial issues, would have sold such a treasure if it existed.
Oh, right, exactly. But maybe they didn't know where it was.
That could be. So you've been on a treasure hunt for how many years now?
Oh, better part of, 2, 3 years, I think?
Oh, you've only owned the home for that long. And you're a
No.
Bico man born and raised?
That's right.
Lovely town.
Well,
I met your mayor just this morning. He was a delightful man.
I guess.
Oh, well. I don't mean to
I'm not terribly...
engage in the gossip. I merely speaking on my brief interaction with the man.
I'm not terribly fond of Mayor Kelvin myself, so, I mean, if you are interested in the politics of the town, that's fine. I just keep out of it. He's not very good to the
He's
farmers.
out of character. He said Kelvin.
Correct.
I was told his name was Baird.
Cool.
Okay.
So, normally, there are situations...
I'm not trying to, like... It's like, wait a minute.
Well, hold on. I do want to clarify. I have been known to fuck up a name or two. That is true.
Sure.
And
You called
The neighbor
Andy
is
Henry.
Eric Baird.
Yeah. It's happened.
Mayor's Eric Baird. Yeah.
It's happened.
Okay.
But I want to make sure that this is very clearly, since you've...
Okay, I just wanted to be sure that was
He said the mayor's
intentional.
name is... Last name Kelvin. And he also said the mayor's not very good with the farmers out here in Bico. Which we know Mr. Baird is very good with the farmers. So it's kind of like a...
Yep. Where the hell are you from? So,
Go ahead.
go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say out of character. I mean, one of the things that I'd be looking for is to see if Adam knows what Adam knows. Like,
What do you want to know about how are you going to...
I'm just saying out of character to the others. I mean, that might be a sign that
This is just a mental note.
this Adam doesn't know everything that real Adam knows, or maybe he does. I don't know. Or maybe this is another example of what John's whole thing of something might seem one way, but it's actually the other
Right.
way.
So
Anyway,
what's Mayor Kelvin's beef with the farmers? What's the farmers' beef with Kelvin?
Well, he's one of those Miskatonic folk, kind of like your friends here. From what I understand, he's wanting to, since we've got close proximity, set up a direct rail to Arkham. And he also wants to make sure that there's lots of boarding available for the students that come to Miskatonic. And in the city, there isn't really that much, what with all the gang activity and all of the rum running happening in Arkham. Out of character note, sorry, real quick, Arthur. Andy, as a known connoisseur of the Lovecraftian and the Cthulhian, you are aware that Arkham doesn't really have this. There's no real connection with like rum running or anything like that. It's not something that they're connected with. That's more Boston.
oh, two strange things he
He
said.
definitely seems to be saying some weird stuff.
Chandler, do you want to add in Chandler?
Say that again.
Did you want to add anything? You're standing there with us, right?
Yeah, I would just be listening because I'm not from around here, so I would just take it at face value. I never met the mayor or anything like that, so at the moment it's just,
And
well, I'm just listening to a man complain about his area.
the
You got
area of
anything
politics.
going on?
Well, I was going to ask real quick for Arthur. You are at the coat rack. I just want to see us past that. Are you going to try and shift the full coat so you can see the last head, or are you going to just put your coat up and move into the room? The acoustics in this space are very echoey, so you're not unable to hear everybody in the next room over. Like, it's very, very clear that you could hear them talking. Especially since I think Henry kind of talked with like,
Uh-huh.
and Adam seems to be trying to match
I'll
it.
just leave it
I'm
alone for now.
transatlantic, so and so.
I like to leave it alone for now and make my way into the living room because
Last
I have
call.
some more other questions. Last call for what?
For you to check the coat.
Well, I could do it at another time.
Fair enough. Okay, you go back into the room, and
Yeah.
that's about where they're talking at that point.
Yeah, yeah. Do
And
you want to continue, Zach, or can I say more?
Please jump in.
Okay.
Did you want to say something, John? I'm sorry.
I was asking Zach if he had something because I also
Yeah.
thought we were on a cliff.
No, I was strictly just probing for small amounts of information while hoping to distract if you were trying to make a ruckus, Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I would ask Adam. So, like we mentioned. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Thanks. Here we go. Otmar and I are scholars, and we're doing some research on some sort of local artifact, local antiquities. That's what the word he would use.
Sure.
And it's led us to do some historical research in Biko, and we discovered that.
Is that how you college folks say it?
Yep, that's
Most local folks say Biko and are pretty, adamant about it.
really. I've always heard it called Biko. Weird.
You'd also know that the people in town aren't adamant about anything regarding the name. They just say whatever you want to call us.
Anyway, yeah, okay. And we've heard that the former owner of this house, Gabriel Revels, was a craftsman, and wondering if he had any notes or journals that we could look at.
No, yeah, nothing so to speak. From what I understand, most of that stuff left with Mr. Revels and his boy. You might want to ask Raymond, since you traveled in, we were with him.
Good idea. Good idea.
And so, cutting the scene real quick, just to make sure folks outside are, able to do what they want to do. Bianca, Raymond, Brent's not there. All right.
He's listening.
Oh, there he is.
He's running back.
We're running.
I'm moving.
I'm so sorry.
It was a
I heard
visual
our
drop,
name.
right?
Well, then we'll deal. Since you ran back, you two are outside. You kind of are situated positionally. You kind of understand. You're here. You're not really guests, so you can leave or stay, or just kind of maneuver around the space if you like.
Raymond's just ready to leave. He's just waiting on Bianca because he's arrived. So he's like, I'm ready to go if you are, Bianca. We're not allowed in, so there's no reason to really be here.
Were Shirley and him actually close?
They started their transactions about a week ago, so it must have been a very fast, blossoming romance if they are close.
And she didn't say anything about it.
No, because she went out there, she disappeared. Like, for you, it was basically like a,
Does that seem like something she would do?
She seemed like she seemed like she was, like, she didn't seem off to you when she came out and talked.
I mean, like, does she seem like the type of girl that is, like, follow my heart and want to run away, blah, or is she more of
I'm not going to say that it would be beyond her. I'm not saying that this would be an unrealistic. Obviously, financial security in this day and age, especially with the depression on its way up, is kind of something that a lot of people are thinking about, right on the edge of a cliff. So she obviously wants to be in a secure situation, and every girl wants that, right? So you know you can get that from John's in a limited sense, but you have to keep working, or you can just be a live-in, housewife with this well-to-do guy. Because I mean, Adam isn't, you know, he's well off enough to buy a house, and like he's also well off to have a nice car, nice-ish car. He's well off enough to
He dropped $125 on you
he dropped $125.
at very little notice.
It took him a second, but yeah, it's not beyond him.
I look at Raymond and say, "You're right. Let's go get the girls and go back to town. I'll get you a drink."
Okay.
Okie dokie.
Waves, ash, just
So you would hear the the truck or the old Model T convert into a truck, kind of putter out, so you are aware that they are leaving. About that stage of the conversation, we'll focus back on the drive home. Obviously, it's not going to be a very long one. If there's anything you want to talk about on the car ride to Raymond's and then from there to town, anything that you guys want to...
She would be saying a lot of, "I know that what I saw. I'm not crazy, Raymond. I promise you, I'm not crazy. I know what I saw."
I trust
That's
you.
what
I
same
trust you.
people always say.
I guess this is a good opportunity for us to kind of like give players an idea of what they know and what they don't know. So is Bianca giving the detail, like the whole deal to Raymond and explaining everything during this car ride, or no?
She would have been shocked. So yeah,
Okay.
she's dumping. She's mind dumping right now,
Yeah.
saying like basically, "I'm trying to figure this out myself."
So for everything that Bianca has encountered so far, as to say, you are kind of aware of it, right? There was a lot going on in that house, according to Bianca, and she says that both of those people are dead. She saw them dead. There's no way. So she doesn't know what's going on, but she's very, very concerned. What's Raymond's response to this kind of talk? Because obviously, we've seen some weird things in the last a few hours. Nothing that weird, but weird. Well, what are you thinking, Raymond? How would you reply? Or are you just kind of nodded, driving the car?
Raymond would definitely be thinking about it for a while, and once she gets to the point where she's like, "I promise I'm not crazy," like, I trust Bianca, I do, and I don't know Adam all that well, so I mean, he might have been a little crazy, and the professors are here looking for crazy things, so it might be the case that there's something wild going on at the house. I don't know what they normally do, but I live right down the road, so if you need me and you can make it out to me, I'll try to help. My door's always unlocked and open.
It's just weird. These two showed up into town all of a sudden, and then all this stuff's going off. We got 3 guys. Some rich guy comes up, and then 2 guys that are looking for weird stuff. It doesn't seem right that it's focused all of a sudden on your area. I don't get it. You seem to be a good boy. You're the same, but I don't get these others.
Yeah, I don't either, but hey, as long as they pay a little, gotta do what you gotta do.
Okay.
little.
So back inside, at about this point, Arthur Blazerless is kind of moving to sit down. Otmar's still standing. You're not seated, right?
Yeah, I would stay standing.
Okay. And Henry, you're seated across a decent way from...
If he offered me a chair, I'd take it.
Yeah, you're sitting like on the couch, and he's sitting in this cool kid chair, and you're just talking, right? So in walks the lady of the house. Are any actions kind of taken in response to her entering the space with the tea?
I stand.
Okay. Upon you standing, you had loosely put the mirror you had just purchased into your pocket, correct?
Yeah, I would have had it in my jacket pocket.
Falls out of your jacket pocket as you stand, because it was kind of placed in there slightly awkwardly.
Sure.
Once it hits the ground, I need all of you who are in the house to make a sanity roll.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
have good sanity.
Let's go.
Sanity.
Oh yeah.
Where is
I'll
my
tell you.
sanity? Where's my
Oh.
I'll tell you.
sanity?
You know what helps with sanity? Milk.
Oh, look at
You
that.
know what?
Look
I
at
think
that.
I think I'm gonna spend 31 luck points and succeed, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Can you spend luck points on sand rolls?
So let me check.
Can I?
Let me check.
Thanks, Andy.
So luck. Let's look.
How many sanity points do you
Okay.
get?
I was planning on fucking with the mirror at some point. So.
It's okay.
If this was gonna happen, it was gonna happen.
It was going to happen. The mirror being in the room was inevitable.
You cannot spend luck points on sanity
Nope.
rolls,
You
Okay,
cannot.
I fail.
but you could use them to adjust the sanity losses. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Didn't think so, but
How do you spend them to adjust the sanity losses?
Hold on. Looking.
oh, rolling
Thank
that
you.
40 is beautiful.
So, the mirror hits the ground, and it seems to kind of have this kind of strange fall cycle, right? So when it comes out of your pocket, you expect it to just fall very quickly to the ground. Instead, it kind of flutters in the air and then kind of flips to land on the ground at a very specific point in the center of the room. And when that happens, the blink of an eye, everything flashes, and there's no chair. So Arthur, you fall on your ass.
Is this just for me, or is this
everybody? Arthur,
Okay.
you fall on your ass. Otmar, you're standing there, and it feels like you're now standing in kind of like a stickier material than just hardwood floor. And Henry, you're kind of like reaching out to try and, reflexively capture the mirror, and your hand kind of brushes against a dead woman's body as you kind of reach down to where there is now a corpse.
Oh,
With
excuse
her.
me.
Pardon. And you are now in the room I described to Chody for Bianca.
We're in that basement cellar.
It's not the basement cellar. It's the living room.
It's the
Sans,
living room.
no
bro.
furniture, massive rune carved on the ground, and
Oh, he was in the living room.
Yeah, it was the living room. Because
I'm sorry. I thought he broke into a cellar or something.
no. All the blinds
So
are drawn.
the dropping of the mirror changed us over.
all
It,
the
flashed the image.
yeah. All the furniture's gone. The mirror sits in a spot that seems to have kind of like a square for it in the kind of dried blood. It seems like it flew right to where it needed to be to kind of reset the scene. And yeah, you can see Adam, who was just talking to you where the chair is, like at the head of the room in front of the mantle. He's now on his knees, devoid of life, his throat slit, and just dried blood down the front of his shirt.
So this isn't a flash. This goes on for a while. This is what we're in. now.
No. There's not a flash that you see this. Everything changes to this.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misinterpreted. Andy, you were right.
Sorry.
No,
I
so
thought it was like for a split second we saw
Yeah,
what was.
it
my
sounded like
my Magic the Gathering sense, when I hear the word flash, I'm thinking something drops in and is now in the game for permanent. Sorry. That's my dumb brain. It is not a flash, it is a kind of spark, and then boom, we're in this new scene. The room
Okay.
smells bad. Obviously,
Would
it's-
Malachi
Like what?
have come
Like
in
what?
with me?
your call.
I'd want him there.
Yeah.
Based
So-
on what how Bianca was acting
You would notice
about
that
us coming to this house, I'd want him here.
even before that moment, he had his pistol, the coat kind of drawn back over the pistol, so he can very
Sure.
quickly reach and grab the handle. The gun's out. Like, he's kind of like roll a D100.
Okay.
You don't see if he's here with us, aren't you?
Yeah, he sticks it
44.
out. So yeah, pistol's out, and he's in a very kind of like tense, but like cautious and like postured state.
I think the first thing that I would do would be to look down. You said all of a sudden I felt stickier.
You're standing in blood, yeah. Not
Okay.
quite dried, but not quite wet blood.
I would look at Malachi, who like has this pistol out and everything, and say, "You can put that away. It won't help us here."
He doesn't seem to relinquish
nice.
it because it's helping.
And
He
then
gives
I
you a
would just
look like,
I would just look at Arthur and just wait for anything from the other person in this room that might have dealt with something before.
Did something bad happen with the failure?
This is.
Oh, yeah,
Is
you
this the
failed.
bad thing, or
So
did
he,
sorry,
needs
sorry.
to roll. He needs to roll.
so sorry.
No.
Oh, he just needs to roll.
This is a big one because it was a big one for Bianca. So
How many sanity did you lose?
You will be losing
don't know.
5, my friend. This is a big one.
And so what is
I'll
that? Does
spend
that mean
10
that
luck and reduce it to 3 or 2?
you can reduce it by half if you spend double the luck
Round
of
up.
the number? I don't know.
What's
I'll
half of 5?
I'll go with round up. So 3
Okay.
3. So I'm taking 3
sanity.
How do I do that?
Go into a character sheet. Hold on. I don't know how it works
Wound,
mechanically.
chimp insane,
So
You
in
just
death
get your.
insane.
You could change your number of. It says X number sanity of number sanity
It's like
total.
hit
So
points.
Oh,
just change that.
okay.
Mode. Yeah.
So now
I
it'll
didn't
be.
fail mine though. I didn't lose any sanity when I.
You didn't lose any.
No, you passed.
Okay.
Yours, it was high stakes for you.
It would have been fine if you
Um,
fucked up.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
So, I guess I just change it to 3 minus.
Whatever you got. Yeah.
Okay.
And for you to understand, kind of like, you're a very good role player, so I think you understand, like, this is not a situation that is normal, and you're being kind of forced into it suddenly.
Mhm.
So the shock of that, it's kind of like in all, in the horror films where it's like, or however Henry would respond, it's obviously not going to be Henry at his normal. It's going to be kind of like an unmasking to a more primal sense. You're not going insane, but you are kind of like, what the fuck?
Henry pauses for a moment. Well, he's bending down to like try to catch the mirror, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he just
accidentally,
realizes this is all going on
yeah,
because he was standing
yeah,
when this happened. So there's sort of a catch in his breath. He swallows hard as he sees he's 2 feet from a dead body.
yeah. And the swallowing hard would also draw in like a pang of.
There's like
scent.
that acrid smell. Yeah.
So Arthur's
Dr.
never
Haynes,
seen
can you
this.
explain this?
He looks shocked because while he's sort of dabbled in it some, his sort of dabbling has always been like the academic sort of dabbling, or abstract and theoretical. He's being, in the presence of a dead body and all the smell, so he wouldn't really. He's not used to that. But if he took a moment to gather himself, then he would look around to see if there are any other occult markings that he can make sense of.
Yeah. Is there anything that Henry focuses on, like specifically after asking that question, like in the room, like the mirror, the bodies, the mantle, any? Arthur?
He's going to slowly pick up the mirror.
Okay. As you're looking at it,
And
to do
he's
so,
going to look into it at an angle,
Same
having like looking towards Adam,
same exact scene that you saw before, as you're
where
looking
he's up
down
and
it.
moving around.
Well, no, when Adam and the bride to be leave the house, right? You see that scene play out again in the mirror, and then you kind of reach down and grab it to kind of shift it to look at Arthur, and it's a normal mirror at that point. Everything's working fine.
Okay.
I would ask him to put it back down. I would politely ask. Like, I would very politely say, can you please put that back in its spot?
Arthur would say,
I'd rather not.
"Go
They
ahead."
left this house. I'm announcing what I'm looking at in the mirror. I see the two of them leaving the home.
Okay.
Both Adam and... So I'll sort of trace steps towards the door. I'm trying to not step in blood, but that's already,
Yeah.
wasted effort.
Yeah.
If I'm just sort of like looking towards the door.
Okay.
I would,
It looks
I
like
would walk with him if he needs, like, because I'm guessing Malachi's also still kind of strung up and everything, like a little scared.
looks like
So
all
I
the
would walk
blinds.
over to him.
All the
Malachi's
blinds.
as good as he.
All the blinds are drawn in this room, right? All the kind of
Okay.
heavy blinds, not the kind of just soft, sunlight blinds. So it's kind of darker in here than it was originally, but it's not completely pitch. There's still a bit of light kind of piercing through these heavy blinds. As you kind of move towards the door, kind of enter into the room, and you can see that the coat rack is knocked over. There is a heavy coat laying next to it, but you can see that it looks like 2 of the 3 heads have been broken off and are laying near it instead of are attached to it. The one head that remains appears to be an angel's face, but with the body of a serpent. And as you look at it more kind of closely for just that kind of moment, you can see that the 2 serpents that make up the body of it are in a helix, but they seem to be coiled around the third arm of the coat hanger. So that angel-faced snake head is the one that's being bound by the other two serpents. You move towards the door and open it, or just check outside, like pull the blinds aside to look outside.
We'll open the door.
Okay. Feels like just as it did. There's the rush of fresh air is kind of absolutely relieving.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of take a breath, and you can kind of still have the lingering sense of death near you, like behind you.
Yeah.
But the fresh air is helping. Do you exit?
I'll gesture for Malachi to follow me outside.
Malachi will.
And
Meanwhile,
I'll step off the porch and just sort of like lean on the railing for a minute.
Okay.
Arthur would turn to Otmar and say, if there was someone here doing some sort of ritual,
Pause
it's
that
likely.
thought. Malachi steps outside. Malachi is a trained guardsman and also doesn't really focus on the others being his priority. So once he's outside to ensure you're out and safe, he shuts the door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Upon doing so, Arthur, you're in the middle of your sentence, and there's that flash again, and Adam's like, huh? Where'd Mr. Fitzgerald go? And you are back in the scene as it was laid out when you were talking to him.
I don't know. So I'm sitting down again?
Guess I wasn't paying attention. I must have been distracted by my beautiful wife to me when she came in. He
Engrossed in this interesting conversation.
must have left very quickly. And when you kind of like do a once over to see where he went to, Arthur, you would see that the coat rack is knocked over, the long coat laying on the floor, and the heads of it have been broken in the way I described it to Zach. And you can see the head, the angel face, seems to be kind of up in the air, kind of looking up at the ceiling and kind of this almost singing like choral.
This place is so fucked up. So, kind of getting a sense that we're like flashing back and forth, and that there's this guy's real trouble. Arthur is gonna take.
Gestures.
Can I do a thing?
Yeah, that's fine. But he gestures to the tea, and says, "It's ginseng," and he uses a common terminology for when referencing Asian cultures in this day and age.
Okay, don't do that.
Not gonna. Go ahead. Go ahead
I
with the
get
thing.
you. I got you.
It's from the Far East.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
an O word that.
He would politely take a sip of the tea and then say, "Well, you seem to be someone who has an interest in handcrafted objects and curiosities."
To a degree. I mean, it wasn't my main driver for getting into this house. I just wanted a house that was, bigger, nicer, more attractive to, he gestures towards people who might want to find and have a home to be in.
And then, go ahead, Chandler, please.
I was going to ask. I wanted to ask this earlier, but I was going to ask how long those two have known each other from Adam, like himself.
Oh, I must have met her about 2 years ago, wasn't it? And we started our agreement shortly after moving out here. I've been wooing her for a while, and Bianca hasn't been terribly helpful, and I understand her assertions with money and everything. It's fine. I'd never seen her in a hat before, though. Very weird. But very nice. It fits her. But yes, it's good that she's now out of my hair and out of yours. And Shirley's like, I'm going to miss her and I'm going to go visit her on occasion. Okay, Adam? She's still my friend. But you're right. It wasn't exactly the best relationship we had.
I would also politely ask, do you know where she comes from? Because I don't think it's around here.
Shirley says, oh no, I haven't a clue. Adam says, I'm pretty sure she's murdered somebody before.
I could believe it. But that's neither here or there.
Shirley's like, shut up. It's not It's not true. She's just very protective of us.
I would politely smile and then point back to Arthur and say, "Sorry, I think I cut you off."
Oh, it's okay. And he would try to give Otmar kind of a knowing look, and then uh,
Adam.
turn back to Adam and say, "Well, I have this item here," and he would pull into his bag and he'd pull out the mirror.
Okay. So a couple things. We're going to pause there for a second. I want to make sure we handle them. First things first. Henry, you're outside. Door shut. A couple moments later, you hear talking inside. And you can again hear Adam's voice. Also,
I hear Adam's voice.
Yep. Also, the blinds are not shuttered like they were when you exited, which for you is kind of like, okay. And then if you kind of look in the window, you can see everything as we described it. The one difference being the coat rack. The coat rack is as it was in the space that you were in before you exited with the mirror. Other point of order. Bianca and Raymond, you arrive back at the Raymond estate, and you pick up your girls, who are absolutely fine. No harm has befouled them. They are just a little bored. They get into the back of the vehicle, and the 3 or 4 of you drive back to town. There's nothing bad that happened there at all.
Thank you.
Just want to make sure that is clear.
You make it sound like something awful happened.
No, nothing awful happened. I did say it in a way that was a bit suspicious, but I didn't mean for that to be the case.
They're having a nice drive.
I just wanted to make sure that, like, even though it was a
Nothing
very...
different though.
Nothing.
since
They're the
you
exact
said that
same.
He mentioned. Okay, cool. Never mind.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that stuff, so I'm backing off.
right. Nothing has changed at all outside of the house. So,
Henry's gonna reach into his breast pocket, pull
Yeah.
out some cigarettes,
okay.
offer one to Malachi.
Malachi pulls out his own.
Good man.
2 of you smoking.
You
on
hear
the porch.
Mr. Godin's voice too, don't you?
Sure do. What the hell happened there?
I'm not sure.
We can just drive off if you want, boss.
No, no. Hank Fitzgerald is not afraid of a corpse.
Oh, I don't suppose you'd be afraid of 2 on either, but ones that appear out of nowhere and walk and talk about might be a bit of a different story there, boss.
You still feel confident in your employment, Malachi?
My employment is to protect you. My suggestion to run away from this place isn't because I'm a coward, boss. It's because I don't know how to protect you soundly. I'm unsure here. I can't tell you with certainty that I can defend against folks that appear out of nowhere. I can't tell you with certainty that I can protect against what we saw in there. Your friend, Mr. Binet, said something about my gun isn't really going to be helpful, and I believe him.
Does he know? I'll take a long drag.
What does he know?
Take a long drag.
Your
Let
statement.
the shake leave my hands.
Literally, the statement, what does he know? And, like, drag literally brings a smile to Malachi's face. He's like, did it stay?
Flick the cigarette.
Save
I'll
for
approach
Malachi.
the door and sort of like ceremoniously turn the handle.
Yeah.
I
So,
walk inside.
this is about the time where Arthur, you were about to come to that. You came to that kind of conclusion there, and do you accept the tea as offered, or do you not take any?
Who, Arthur?
Arthur or Otmar?
I had said that I took a sip before when everything happened.
Would Arthur, being a kind of prestigious, I guess is a good way of saying it, individual.
Okay.
Do you think he would be someone who has partook in ginseng, kind of like, in kind of like a ginseng tea?
Probably, yeah.
This doesn't taste anything like ginseng.
Well, so the sip that he would taste would be like the almost like a courtesy sip.
Yeah, it doesn't taste anything like ginseng.
What does it taste like?
It just doesn't taste anything like ginseng. You're trying to place what it tastes like, But it doesn't taste like anything that's coming to mind. But the one thing it doesn't taste like for sure, that you can guarantee it's not, is ginseng. There's a rooty earthiness to ginseng, and you're like, this isn't that. Tastes like tea. I can give it that. But it just doesn't taste like what you know to be a ginseng tea.
Okay.
Altmar would do the obligatory Southern thing of asking for sugar. Because he's
Yep.
never had ginseng tea, and he didn't know
Oh.
it was different.
Yeah,
I love
it's on-
that.
it's on offer.
Politely for sugar.
It's on
And he
offer.
would dump way more than you think he should in there.
Exactly.
And as you're pouring,
Exactly.
as you're pouring, boom, door opens. Henry enters back in. Where are you putting the mirror? You said you
So
took
I've got it in my
not you,
hand.
not you. Sorry, Henry's mirror.
I would. I don't suppose either Malachi nor myself would have some kind of a satchel or.
So what you do know is that on Malachi's left side is a large pocket, which he can also use to put his sawed-off shotgun in.
Well, that's occupied by a sawed-off
It
shotgun
is not.
now.
He has not taken the shotgun out of the back of the truck.
Okay.
Or out of the back of the car. The trunk.
Yeah, I'll keep it on me.
Okay.
I'll put it more securely
So it doesn't fall
into
out.
a pocket and sort of. I don't know. I have suspenders on. I'm saying
Yeah.
have them strap it down a little better.
Okay. So,
Forgive my rudeness, Mr. Odin.
I didn't even
had to speak with Malachi in private.
Didn't even notice you had left. Oh, and you were smoking. That's fine. He says to Shirley, grab a couple of ashtrays because smoking indoors is totally cool. And they lay out.
I love this country hospitality. Thank you, dear.
Lay out some ashtrays for folks who are wanting to partake in nicotine.
I will light another.
Now, Arthur, you pulled out your mirror, and we're kind of talking about it.
Mhm.
And a lot of things kind of happen to interject, and then Adam kind of turns back to you once everyone's situated and says, so that's one of Mr. Revels' works, is it?
It is, and I was wondering if you could give me a little help with it. And then he would start walking towards Adam,
Uh-huh.
and then, excuse me, he would say, and then he would walk around to behind Adam, so
Uh-huh.
his front is facing Adam's back, and he would hold up the mirror so that both he and Adam are in the mirror reflection.
Adam
What
looks
happened?
totally normal in the mirror. But to everyone else who is looking at the situation, the second the mirror seems to catch Adam, Adam's face turns to the dead face with a slit throat. And obviously, we've done the
shit.
sanity gimmick for this bit a bit.
Yeah.
But you would realize that it seems that as it kind of pans onto him, it changes him for the moments that he's kind of caught in the reflection. His reflection is fine to you, Arthur, and so you're like, huh. But for Henry and Otmar, there's probably a noticeable, oh!
So I'm seeing the normal Adam face. Is there any expression on that normal face that's out of the like weird? Like
No. Yeah.
is he mad?
He
No.
kind of turns his
Okay.
head to kind of look at you because you're kind of moving around the back of him, but he kind of goes, huh. Yeah, it does kind of look like the mantle, is what he thinks you mean by it. But for everybody else, he's turning his head, and you can actually see, like, the slit of the neck, like, kind of ripping because he's turning his head with the slit throat. And so, like, it causes this amount of, like, congeal to kind of pour out. But the thing you notice is you're only able to see this change of his person in kind of like a mirror-shaped bit. So, like, the front of him that's caught in the mirror seems to be changed. The back of him seems to be normal, as you'd expect it to be in the current reality you're in.
So even if we're not looking in the mirror, we're looking at Adam.
In real life,
And the
he's
reflection of
changing.
Adam is apparent on Adam's physical form.
Correct. Everything that would be caught in the mirror's shape seems to be changing in the real world.
I'll stand up again.
I would quickly, while they are in that position, I would say, Adam, do you want to see one of the tricks Gabriel was able to put into the mirrors? And I would look over at Henry and say, can I borrow your mirror?
This would cause Arthur to kind of shift from looking into the mirror to looking over at the people. And Arthur, you would see what everyone else is seeing regarding
Oh boy.
Adam.
Cool.
Again, it's up to Henry if he wants to give me the mirror or not. Just for this moment, I would give it immediately right back. But I want to see if I put the mirror behind Adam and he looks in through and gets the bouncing effect, if anything happens. But again, if Henry wouldn't want to
Henry
give up
will
the mirror,
cross the room to admire the mantelpiece, close his eyes while facing the wall, and take the mirror out of his coat pocket, and hold it out towards Otmar.
I would gladly take it and walk behind Adam, and I would tell Arthur, I would look at Arthur to where Adam could not see me as I'm walking up, and do this so he shuts his eyes. Because I do not want more people being affected if something deranged happens again.
So I would do that.
Somebody's got to see it.
Okay.
Malachi would be looking still, probably, and I would be looking. I just don't want both of us to go crazy this moment.
Yeah.
And I would do it to hold it to where you could see the bounce.
Him in between all. Okay.
He's thinking about this.
After the situation with the vanity, this was planned for. So,
okay.
What I require first, before we get into it, I know that we've kind of encountered this instance, but this is going to change exponentially. I need all three parties present, eyes closed or not, to go ahead and make a sanity roll.
Damn it.
I would order an old-fashioned for me and a shot of whiskey for Bruce.
You arrived back in town. You went to the local pub. Okay.
Yeah, baby. Let's go.
I knew I was risking it so much at a 40.
Who had their eyes opened?
I did.
The one that failed.
The one that failed.
Just Otmar. Arthur did not. Okay. Perfect.
Unless he didn't listen.
Arthur had his eye. No, I listened. I had my eyes closed. Yeah.
Eyes closed. And Henry, you didn't keep your eyes open. Do
you want one for Malachi too?
Malachi's. Roll a D100.
Boop.
He's fine.
50. The man's solid.
He's solid, man.
Worth every penny, boys. So, you should buy a band.
For everybody who isn't Otmar, this is the scene. The mirrors connect. There's a flash. You're standing in an open field. Okay. Now for Otmar, who failed, the scene is quite different. You watch as the dead thing that is Adam from your reality starts screaming, and it's a voice sound that is doubled because his throat is open. You then see that inside of the mirror, there are two different. In one mirror it's one, in the other mirror it's another, versions of him that are doing the same thing, but different enough to realize that they are separate entities. And behind them you just see shades and shades of black that are probably him or not him. He then gets ripped in half and is pulled into each of those two mirrors, and the atoms that are in the mirrors grab him and greedily eat him as they're pulled into the mirrors. The floorboards of the house rip upwards. The entire house goes like poltergeist mode and all sucks into the mirrors, leaving you standing there holding Henry's mirror in opposition to Arthur's mirror, and you're going to lose 7 points of sanity.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
You should spend 14 luck to half it.
You literally just broke reality, and the house is gone.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the. Oh man, that's so much of my luck, but I got to.
Can other players use luck for
no,
people?
This is inside.
No, you can't do that. Nope.
I read that.
I just wanted to make sure.
I skimmed the luck rules.
So half of 7 would be. We're doing 4 or
4.
3 on that.
4.
Okay, so that's good. If an investigator loses 5 or more sand points, they have suffered a major emotional trauma.
In one instance, yes.
In one instance, right.
That's why I was like, I have to have this.
Correct. It was luck or break, and that was the goal.
You'll have an easier time regaining luck, is the idea of having low luck.
I will say,
he like to be broken.
As the scene for everyone else kind of flashes, and you're just standing out in an open field
with our eyes closed.
With your eyes closed, yeah.
Malachi sees.
You feel the breeze of being out. Yeah, you'd feel the breeze of being outside, right? But Otmar, everything happens, and then you just kind of drop to your knees, like
Oh, I would be crying. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah.
I understand like the situation here.
So the wind kind of howling in your ears, the cold breeze kind of against your faces. You assume it's okay to open your eyes as you hear Otmar begin to cry, and you awaken to the scene. Otmar crying on his
A
knees.
broken man, right
There
there.
is no house. There is no barn. There are no cars.
Damn it, you dick. That
Oh,
was
sorry.
expensive.
There are no his cars. Your cars are
Okay.
still there. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. No,
Hank Fitzgerald does not walk, sir.
my brain did it dumb. Your cars are still there. His cars, like his truck and his fancy
Okay.
car,
The
they're
possessions of Adam are gone. We're just in a lot in a field.
gone. It's just a field, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
I would.
Oh, there's not even like foundations. There's no sign of a house being here.
No sign of a house being here.
No driveway, nothing.
No driveway, nothing.
Did Arthur tell Otmar what he saw when he looked through 2 of the mirrors at once? Did he ever explain that to me, or did he keep?
I
that
think
to
you guys saw it happen, didn't you?
Arthur
No.
the only
That
one.
was. Yeah, Arthur was the only
Oh,
one.
okay.
Who saw
I wasn't
it.
there for that.
I have it written down, but I don't have it clarified if you told me or not.
Andy, that's for you.
I'm sorry, say again?
I don't have it clarified in my notes if you told me what you saw when you double looked in the mirrors.
Yes, I think I did.
Okay. I would look at Arthur and say, I now understand the horrors that you have witnessed, and it is not isolated to just the set that we have seen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna walk towards Otmar and grab my mirror, wrapping a handkerchief with HMF engraved on it, embroidered on it,
In gold.
around the face of it.
I'm going to say this. I will give it back, but I wouldn't give it back yet. I wouldn't let go. He would have to at least try to get it from me.
I'm wrenching it out of your hands.
You can attempt to beat me in strength. I don't think that's
Okay,
Malachi will
Mr.
attempt to
Crying
do
on the
it.
ground.
I would be. Well, yeah, you would be like, you'd be clenched. You'd be holding it. I'm
If
not
you want to
trying
make it
keep
a contest, I don't know how it works.
My
How's the
85
contest
strength
work?
probably equals whatever you have.
I don't know. What is the contest? How's the contest work?
I mean, you can be as strong as you want, Crybaby, but you know,
Like,
Again,
You're still crying on a field with my possessions.
like I said, I would give it back. But I just like
contest
tense.
I
works
paid good
where
money to a woman of well repute for this mirror.
We all owe her an apology.
Absolutely, we do. She was correct.
Not me.
Yep. What?
Andy, you were saying something about a contest?
Oh, is it a contest?
I
No,
guess.
I was asking if you knew anything about that because again, I
Yeah.
would want to let it go. I would just be in the moment, like not letting
Well,
go. I
we
would-
don't have to roll for that. If it's just like a momentary kind of clenching
Yeah.
and kind of like a
Again,
situation.
I just saw
I'm sure Henry
before, like,
being
I'll
the-
take a couple stabs at it, but I'll take it away.
I'm
from
sure he's the kind of suave kind of gentleman who'd be like, he kind of pulls and he goes, "Come on," and kind of leads
I'll
you.
I'll offer him a nice cigarette.
I would want to keep it. Is the thing is like after seeing that, I would want to put it down.
Yeah, yeah.
I would just
You're
be
just
in the
you're kind of death gripping it more
Yeah.
or less. So not a problem. We don't need to roll dice for that. Henry's going to take a couple beats, and then eventually, like once you kind of come to loosening, he's going to remove it from your hand
Yeah.
and kind of wrap it up in his handkerchief. And then, are you passing it to your man, or are you holding on to it still?
I'm holding on to it still.
Okay.
I was gonna say it needs to be thrown into Mount Doom.
No.
No, no.
I paid good money for this.
And then Arthur would also eventually reach for the hand mirror.
Well, you're still holding it.
Oh, I'm still holding it.
Yeah, you were holding it up.
Okay,
So
okay.
as you kind of like see Henry taking some special care to kind of maneuver stuff, you kind of look at the hand mirror, and you can see that around the ring there are burn marks on the
Really?
wooden ring that are in the same shape as the marks on the ground,
Wow.
or the former marks that were on the ground in the house that never also always existed.
He would start
So-
scribbling in his journal,
Yeah.
drawing pictures of all of this.
So mantle is gone. Coat rack is gone.
Everything.
Are you
Those
kind
were
of
those were leads. Those were potential leads. Is what I'm
are you kind of
Yeah.
more concerned
perusing
about.
the area?
Yeah, I guess.
Coat rack's
I'm
still
in the
there.
middle of nowhere.
Coat rack's still there. So's the
Okay.
long coat.
Otmar would stand up and try to fix himself a bit, like looking away from the group because
Yeah.
again,
Probably
doesn't
pull
I'm
you up
lighting
understand
another
what feels
cigarette
like.
and offering it out.
your own handkerchief. You're kind of like,
Yeah.
dotting your eyes because of tears. And then Malachi is kind of like, just tense, keeping an eye on Henry. And Henry, you kind of start looking around. You're like, the mantle's gone in your head. And then you see it and you go, huh. You walk over to the coat rack and it's still broken and the long coat's still there. It's in the exact same position. Like, so you were standing in the kind of, you just walked in and then kind of moved towards the mantle to do the shenanigans. So, like, 15, 20 feet away and to the left, there it is. In the high grass, the open field that seems to have not been tended for some time. It's just a wild grass field.
Mhm. Well, Doctor, let's apply our learning.
Hmm.
What can you make of this? This is what you intended to do with me, no?
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
recall
had.
2 mirrors in the young Revel's house.
Yes, and if Otmar described what he saw most recently in the mirror, then it would be yes, yes. It seems as if there's some sort of splitting of reality. It seems like the mirrors are part of some sort of ritual that might do it. The mirror burn marks uh, look similar to the ritual circle that we initially saw on the floor when we came in. So I think we're dealing with something serious and dangerous. And so
They're just handing out
if you're not up
documents.
for this kind of if you're not up for this kind of work, I would understand. But I need to find out more. I need to find out more.
Okay. I'm going to let it beat if anybody has anything to follow that up. If not, the other shoe's going to drop. We're going to go back to the pub. You guys are drinking. I need the both of you to make sanity rolls. You have a bonus die. You're wondering what that's about.
What does that mean?
What the heck's happening to these guys? Perfect.
So now you click. Oh,
If you're successful,
Oh,
it's
you two
fine.
are the most sane of anybody, aren't you?
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Look at
So
you two.
I am going
Solid.
to explain what those rolls mean because I want you to understand the veil portion of this because it will be interesting as we move into this next bit of story because Bianca and Raymond are our focus now for a bit. You remember everything as it's happened. Nothing has changed for you. Everything is as it is. Okay? That
Yep.
might not be the case for everyone. So Bianca and Raymond, after getting your drink to kind of level off after, the whole situation and letting your girls kind of head back to town to kind of, continue with their work. Bianca,
I
are
give
you...
them a little bit of a bonus as well.
Oh,
I
yeah,
know it
because you
doesn't
got so much cheddar.
but yeah, I'm gonna give them some.
You are flush as fuck. So yeah, they're happy, and they'll probably be drinking there with you or drinking nearby. But do you want to specifically engage with anybody in town in particular? Is there anybody you want to talk to? Anybody you want to focus on? Any kind of conversations you need to have?
I would definitely go talk to the sheriff.
All right. You walk in. You going with Raymond? Or Raymond, you going with her?
I got nothing else to do.
You okay with Raymond going with you, Bianca? Seems to be a good friend so far.
Yeah, he listened to me cry. He's cool.
Yeah.
Not really
He
crying.
knows
but
everything.
Yep.
Bint.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that would have been funny if one of you failed and one of you succeeded. But
Bill, I saw you.
You have really good
Saw
sanity.
you went out and saw.
What's that?
Bill, I saw you went out and saw Adam. What'd you figure out?
Adam. Who's Adam? Adam Gaines?
Yeah, I saw your car going out to the farm.
Oh, Adam Gaines doesn't
Adam
have a
Odin is
farm.
the-
He has a small little
Odin.
house
Godin.
over
This
near
is a different
the,
Adam he mentioned.
over
too.
near the highway.
No, this is Adam Gaines.
Haven't seen
Godin.
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 Adam Godin. Godins haven't lived in Vico for a long ass time. What are you talking about, Bianca?
The one that Shirley saw?
Who's Shirley?
Bill, stop playing with me.
I'm not
I saw
playing.
you out there.
What are you talking about? I haven't left the office all day. I have proof of that. I just took
You
it.
stopped by my house earlier.
Did not, Raymond.
Yeah, whenever the other fellows were there, you came to check on me.
Why would I have come out to check on you?
I don't know myself. I just know you stopped by. You even left the door, which is fine. That's what I like. But
Now, folks, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this now. I'm very interested. You're saying that I left the office today. I mean, I sent my deputy out to go check on a farm that's said to be having some folks growing the wacky tobacco over on it, but I haven't done nothing else of the kind. I haven't left the office today. We just had a big old bus full of people we don't know coming to town. You think I'm just going to leave town with no problems? I'm keeping an eye on everything. Now, who's this Adam Gowden, you said? The Gowdens haven't lived in town for a while. They moved to Arkham long ago.
yeah, this is the one that bought my dad's old house.
Your dad's old house?
Yeah,
What do you mean your dad's old house?
the estate house.
She would
Your
put
dad
her hand on
never...
his shoulder. Oh, honey, we were just trying to make sure you were doing your job today. Some people were complaining that there was a little bit too much sitting around. That's all. I appreciate your
He
hard
gets
work,
up.
Joe, and I told him that you were doing your job, and I told him I'd go check and make sure. I told him you were a good sheriff, and I told you were one to be trusted.
He does
So-
that. He does that. He does that. Like pull down his shirt to kind of like straighten it out on his chest, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Well, I guess I'm gonna have to just do a bit of a walk around, Bianca. And thank you for bringing this to my attention, folks.
That's
Being
what you do. You
nosy.
do walk around.
You're
You know
damn
what's
right.
going on. This is your town. You take care of it. And I kind of pull
Raymond aside.
Raymond out the door. You keep up the good work, Bill.
Sheriff goes off about it. Yeah. The two of you kind of step out onto the kind of wood, like small little porch setting outside of the sheriff's office. He goes walking with like he's doing the the chest is puffed up and he's kind of walking like he's like doing the foghorn leghorn kind of like walk cycle, like trying to look important in town.
I would look at Raymond and be like, now do you see something weird's going on? I told you those girls were dead. All of a sudden they weren't dead. He said he went out to see you. He was out and saw you. There's something going on.
Yeah, this is definitely wild. You don't think those guys are messing with something out there, do you? Maybe.
Would guess they are because they're like I said, they came, stuff started blowing up. I don't understand what's happening.
Maybe we should go and check with see if anybody remembers them, because the sheriff didn't. But
Or at least go see if Adam still lives out there because he apparently thinks he doesn't. Let's go see your dad's old place and we'll see what happens out there.
okay.
The two of you get back in the truck and you drive out, and just at the point and beat where you guys are standing out there in the field and Henry Fitzgerald is realizing that the coat rack is still there, you can see off in the distance, maybe a minute or so out, Raymond Revels' truck is on its way back from town to you, because the time dispersal is about accurate. And Raymond, there ain't no house, there ain't no barn.
There's
You'd
even
have
a
seen.
road, probably.
You would have no. There's a road.
It's a road. He lives on it.
Yeah, the road is not as well traveled as you remember it. It's definitely a bit rougher, and you're kind of getting a bit more of the on the Model T. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it's not there. It does not seem to be present. There is instead, from what you saw, was a pretty well cultivated field to just a high grass kind of plains, and there are 3 individuals standing out in the middle of it.
When we see that, I just instinctually he's going to be like, I think I could buy that back for cheaper now.
We'll have to see.
See, it would have been funnier if you failed the sanity check and Chody didn't. That would have been hilarious to me, but we'll cover that
Yeah,
later.
I lived in that house my whole life.
Yeah, I own the whole property north of my... anyway. So you drive
Get out of
up.
the car. What'd you do?
You can see that there are 2 cars there.
Yeah, we'll get out.
First thing she would say, I told you I wasn't crazy. I told you that things were going on weird here.
I would
You were
look
right.
over
Right.
and say I said at least 2 of us always believed that you weren't crazy, and I would kind of slowly look at Henry Fitzgerald as the third party here.
Third
Look back again, because again, I would, as she's shouting this, I'd be like, "No, we believed you the whole time." It's just escalated farther than we thought it would.
She's just very proud of herself right now, like hands on hips, kind of poked out because she's like, I wasn't wrong, kind of thing.
She's not concerned about the context of what that means.
Right?
She's
No,
just happy that
decided
she's correct.
right.
He's provably sane. That's what everyone wants in any argument.
That's really the important part.
Yep, that's all it is.
Yeah. Arthur would then look around and say, "So then, what the?" And he would pause. Heck, what the heck was that all about? What was that thing?
Yeah, let's all agree. We're not going to face any 2 mirrors towards each other ever again.
Yeah, especially not at my house, please. I don't want to lose my cows.
My mirror stays right where it is until I have use for it.
Sorry, hold on a second. Raymond and Bianca, make a spot hidden check. This is retroactive. Sorry.
I'm not good at that. Oh.
Spot hidden, not sleight of hand.
Oh.
Well, you still rolled a 40.
Yeah.
So,
can
Bianca,
I use
you
luck
can
on that?
No worries. Do you want to? It's just kind of a bit. It's kind of a bit. Don't worry about it.
Chody can spend 10 luck points and
it's just a bit. It's okay. Fine. Don't worry about it. It'll come up. Okay. You don't have to spend your luck to do it. I'm telling you as the GM, save your luck. It'll be okay. We'll get to it.
It's expensive.
As a DM or as a storyteller, I had to make sure that the roll was at least there because it would have felt. You'll see.
Yeah.
They're any talk.
Well, boys, Bianca, I don't think standing here is going to help us much. You might seem more crazy to other people, and if whatever happened here happens again, I don't want to be here for it.
Bianca, do you kind of search around the space?
100%. I'd be like, she would be very curious of what.
I'm going to have you make another spot hidden. I want to give you a bonus dice for this one. You don't need it. Extreme success won't change anything. You kind of go around where you know the house to be. You kind of start moving around it. You've been there twice today. And you kind of start maneuvering about. And you see in the grass, at the spot where the back door would be, broken glass laying on the floor.
I would pick a shard of it up and look at it closer.
It's the same glass that the window of the door was made out of.
Yep. I was right!
I was right! She's holding it up. She's yelling across the field. Yep. It's glass, everybody! And everyone's like, what? I was right! Okay, Bianca's becoming my favorite character.
Absolutely excited.
I would turn to Arthur and ask very pointedly, have you ever heard of anything this concrete? This level of concrete in your time with this?
No.
Yeah.
It's just been study and yeah, I mean,
I'll be blunt, I've made attempts, but I never have come even remotely to this point.
Yeah.
We're in a realm of no longer theoretical. That is reassuring that we were right, but it is not reassuring that this is happening to us.
So we need to, I mean, my first instinct always is to do research, right? I mean, we're academics, so I had suggested earlier that we go to the newspaper to see if there are any newspaper clippings related to the house, to Adam or Gabriel, and to check out the local library as well.
I would agree. Would Bianca or Raymond tell us about their interaction with the sheriff?
Oh yeah, she'd be bragging.
Like
She'd be saying,
You'd
yeah,
be
she'd be
bragging that
saying everything's weird. Like
they didn't know who Adam was and
they
everything.
didn't know this place existed. They didn't know who Adam was. They didn't know anything. They didn't know anything about what was going on.
Okay. I would look at Arthur and be like, with that, do we think the newspaper is helpful? Should we check to see if there's inconsistencies even further than we know of yet? But is it helpful to look into history that's changed?
Yeah, and then he would think for a moment and then look to Bianca. I wonder, Bianca, if everything is the same as you left it with your place of business. Whether anything has changed there. That would be a really quick way of knowing things.
I left the girls to go drink with some of the extra cash that we made today, but we can go check, of course. That's fine. I'll definitely be going home this evening. I'm not sleeping on the streets by any means.
But then, yeah, I want to go to check out the library and the newspaper.
I would 100% want to go to the library.
Hey, Ray.
Yeah.
I think I found something that belongs to you, son. And I point out the handcrafted mantelpiece that is embedded in the tall grass.
No, so it's not the mantelpiece, it's the coat rack.
I thought the mantle was also...
Oh, you
What?
said both earlier.
No, sorry, did I say mantle?
Yeah,
You said
Okay,
both
we'll keep it
earlier.
that way.
because they were both crafted by Gabriel.
Yeah, it's not terribly important. I thought I just said that it was the coat rack.
If it's not important, we'll go with the coat rack.
No, it's fine. Either way, it's fine. It's there.
I'll point them both out because they couldn't have been more than a couple dozen feet away from each other.
Yeah, because you
I'm
were.
assuming.
I was saying that you were near the mantelpiece when the thing happened.
Yeah.
And you were kind of looking back towards where the coat rack was, but it's okay. It's fine. It's not going to change much.
Okay.
The intent was achieved with them both, or just one being there, so it's fine.
You want that in your truck, son?
So
Yeah,
the
sure.
mantelpiece would basically just be, if you're not familiar with mantel pieces, it's just basically a kind of framing
Like a shelf.
that's kind of shelf-like and kind of like slotted on the wall behind, or on the top
hearth.
of a hearth. Very high craftsmanship. And honestly, this is a good perspective for us because we didn't really discuss much about the mantle. Nobody asked about details regarding it. So as you're kind of getting it and moving it towards your truck to load it up, you would notice that the depiction appears to be like a heavenly kind of scene of like gates kind of opening up and angels kind of blossoming out from the gates. And at the base of the gate is a serpent and another serpent just behind it kind of entering into the gates. And at the top of the gates are two angels both playing trumpets. The trumpets crossed together like swords, like on a mantle, kind of,
So a snake following another snake through a gate,
into like the gates.
being
of heaven.
heralded by angels.
Yep, and they're like angels kind of blossoming out from the gates, kind of like heralding them into the space. This does not. This does
That
not.
doesn't make any sense to me.
Doesn't make any sense at all. But it.
Nah, it doesn't have to.
Maybe
It's
not
his
yet.
stuff.
But yeah, it doesn't seem to be the same kind of styling as the other pieces, but obviously the snakes seem to be a common motif. At least in his house furniture. And then the broken
But
snakes.
yeah, I was just assuming he would want those things.
the broken
that is
snakes in the
Birthright kind of stuff.
snake angel head.
Yeah, I'll take them. Is the coat still on the coat rack?
The long coat's there, and so is Arthur's blazer. Blazer's on
Okay.
they're both laying in the grass, so they're kind of.
Oh, okay. I picked it up and dusted off.
Yeah.
I would
It's-
like to search the pockets of the long coat.
Okay. You do so. Inside, you would find a wallet. Inside the wallet, you would find a paper, kind of like beaten up identification card. Social security card, I think, was that something that happened back then? Probably not.
Would have been later, I
I
think.
don't think so. That was part of the New
It was like
Deal.
Yeah, that's right.
of
That's
the
right. That's 30s.
40s.
So then it would be like a
30s.
simple ID, and it's Adam Gowden's ID card.
Oh, nice.
Looks like it was issued 2 years ago.
Nice. I will take it.
And probably about $20 in ones
I
and
will
fives.
definitely take it.
Money.
Yeah. Does the jacket fit me?
Yeah,
I'll throw it on.
it's like maybe an inch or two like large, but it's not that bad. Adam was a little bit bigger than you, but not like massively so.
Heck yeah. Got a free coat rack, a free coat, and a free shelf. Let's go.
All right, about the family home, son. It wasn't my fault. And I'll just sort of like make eyes towards Otmar.
That's right.
It's okay. If my my assumption on the way back here is correct, I may be able to get the land for cheaper now.
Oh, well, it's a fine plot of land, let me tell you.
Yeah, I used to live here. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You head back in?
Allegedly. Yeah, where are we going?
Are you heading back to town?
I'm riding with Arthur, so it's his decision.
Yep. We're gonna go directly to the library.
Raymond, do you want to stop at your house and drop this shit off, or do you want to?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. You folks want to
For sure,
stop in
stop
and
by and everything.
stop with Raymond, just so you're all kind of getting back into town together?
Yeah, Malachi and I'll help Raymond unload.
So when you get to Raymond's house,
A lot happened.
when you get to Raymond's house, the small stature of a simple farmhouse that you remember seeing as you passed it by and drove up to it and stayed inside of it is not quite what you're driving up upon. Instead, you look at what appears to be a very lavish-looking ranch-style home and a very massive barn nearby. The house in question seems to be of a similar styling as the house that just vanished into the void, and the barn seems to be of a similar size, but not styling. Seems to have been crafted by different hands as the barn that also vanished into the void.
I knew it.
And Raymond, you have no idea what the fuck is happening. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Forget
I'll,
my apology, son. Better you than me.
Raymond will go up to the door and just see if it's open.
Yeah,
Like he normally
you
leaves his
leave
door
your
open.
doors open. I don't think that
Yeah.
would be different in multiverses or whatever was happening here. So yeah, the door's
Heck yeah.
wide open.
Yeah, I'll start slowly going through it.
Yeah, it looks like there's a strange sense of like there's a discombobulation here, right? So the house as it stands is exactly how you would leave it, but it's a lot of stuff that you're not familiar with. But as you're kind of like acclimating yourself into the house, you start to understand the purpose for everything. You see the vanity, which is in less than good condition. Like, it looks like it's received quite a bit more wear and tear than you left it in. So you've been doing more work. And it looks like there are more papers out on top. And as you kind of go over to it, according to these papers, you have a quite successful farm going on right now. I would like for you to shift your credit rating 20 points in the northerly direction, please.
Right.
Does he also get some intelligence too? Is that
No,
also?
no, he doesn't get smarter, but
I was
his
like,
physical
he's
wealth
working
is
with math all
altering
the
because
time.
he's obviously
We're in a new dimension, folks.
credit rating will change.
His house is in a new dimension.
Credit rating will change based on actual holdings and position. But yeah, you're looking at it, and it looks like you
God, I'm
have
glad I live in New York City.
you have horses, you have quite a few cattle, you have pigs, and you have corn, a decent amount of corn
Nice.
growing here, which is not a hugely common like crop type in Massachusetts, but it's definitely one that's sought after.
It is if you make rum.
Mm-hmm.
If you're running alcohol.
Heck yeah.
I would look over to Raymond and say, "Well,
I
son,
thought
you
you
might not
drove
even
with. I thought
need
you
to-"
left with Andy.
We said we all stopped together.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I would say I don't think you'll need to buy that property. I bet it's still yours.
You would
Yeah.
you would kind of look at the documents and just start kind of shuffling through all the papers, and you would note that there definitely seems to be a kind of understanding of your holdings, and basically everything like a good 2 miles out from here is yours. It is the rebels' property.
Heck yeah, dude.
I would ask politely, but very nervously, if I could check the vanity. I'd be looking for those slots and everything that we found in what we perceive.
When Otmar draws attention to the vanity and you kind of look up at it into the mirror, Raymond, you see yourself, and I'm assuming you, just correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm just making a lot of assumptions here, Brent,
Yeah.
based on just the character we've built so far. We've seen, okay, but you're kind of like a disheveled, kind of like well-to-do, plucky guy, but like dirty. You're not like the tidy kind of tie-wearing type, right?
Yeah, no.
But in the mirror, for a second, as you kind of look up at it, you do seem to be wearing kind of like a starched, a bit more of a starched collar, and kind of like a bit more of a refined, going into town kind of attire. But that vision very quickly shifts to what you really look like. And do you answer Otmar in the affirmative or the negative?
Yeah, go ahead, as long as you don't do what you did at the other house.
I would also,
This one stays.
I would also very, very politely
If you make
say,
this house disappear, I will kill you. I will in
No
all
more
of the
wars.
worlds in the
I would
mirror.
just
We're in a happy spot.
I would also politely say you may want to go check for a change of clothes, because he may have just a nicer set of clothes upstairs now. So I would just because if this is how this world's shaping out, I would want him to look as he's supposed to look in town. I would not want him to be super out of place. So I would say you might want to go change into a more fitting attire for a farm owner. And I would walk over to the vanity, and I would ask Arthur to come with me if he was comfortable.
Sure.
Looks like it's received a bit more damage, but the mirror has not. There's no rust. There's no kind of problems or deformations like there were on the original Rebel's vanity. It looks like the wood has been kind of battered on its side, like people bumped into it, etc., right? The other thing that you would note is where the arc portion was open and there was the cavity inside for a piece of jewelry, that part is seemingly closed.
I would try to open it if that's available.
You do, and you succeed, and inside there is a gorgeous white gold band set with a number of small diamond gemstones of a yellowish coloration, and in the center is a perfectly beautiful strawberry pink diamond as its centerpiece. It is gorgeous.
I would wait for Raymond to come back from changing.
Sure.
to
Raymond, you
have
pop in.
him touch it.
You go into your room and you go, yeah, this looks like pretty good digs. What you're feeling it. It's vibing. You go over to your wardrobe, you pop it open. There's some clothes in there. You kind of take some time to kind of shuffle through it and you go, that's pretty sharp. And you kind of take some time to kind of wash your face in the mirror. You got a pot of water sitting there and you're just cleaning yourself up, throw on the clothes. And once you've got it all done, kind of look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, I look exactly like I should, because you saw yourself in the mirror. You know what you look like. And you feel right when you put these clothes on this way.
Heck yeah.
Head back downstairs. Anybody else want to do
Big
anything
spike
while
goes.
Raymond is...
As
Huh?
he comes down, Bianca says, "Well, lordy day, you look good, son. You clean up well, little one."
Things look better from the top, don't they? Bianca and I are just cheering him on.
Hell yeah.
Welcome to status.
But Arthur, you would see that the mirror does look like it's in better condition than it was before. And it also looks like the ring setting is currently filled with that ring that I mentioned. White gold, yellowish stones, and kind of a pink diamond in its center.
Engraving?
Do you take the ring out to check it?
Yeah.
Okay. Doing so, inside you would see that there is GR, and that's it. And it looks like it's very similar GR notation to the maker's marks you've seen on the wood and stuff.
And I would take the ring, and I would is Raymond around, or is he?
He's
Yeah,
coming downstairs, yeah.
Okay.
Looking sharp, looking fly.
Yep. And I would say, I think this ring belonged to your grandfather, so you should have it.
Everyone would be like, wow, this is the best day ever.
Okay. So when you write that ring down in your possessions, I would like for you to put Ring of Gabriel on your sheet. That should be what it's notated as. Okay,
Oh,
Raymond?
it's gonna come back to bite you with a name like that.
Well, Brett loves cursed items, so
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah,
It's
he's immediately
befitting.
throwing it on.
It's befitting. Are you putting it on like it, so size wise? I would say it's more of a feminine kind of sizing. So it probably would work as like a pinky ring for you.
Heck yeah.
All right, that is macadocious.
He is
You're like, hey Henry, want to go to some fancy hoity-toity? What do fucking rich people do? You'd probably
We'll
say.
figure it out.
Let's
I'll tell you,
go,
we
dude.
don't stay in Baiko.
Don't get any ideas. I still haven't welcomed you into my caste and my society. Not yet.
I'll take him under my wing.
All right. Love to see it. So, anything else you want to do in the house?
I would check for to see if there's a second mantelpiece, and I would check for a coat rack.
Mm-mm.
They're not there.
Nope.
They're
Is
in the
there
truck.
like any dust settling that would have shown that something was there previous? Okay.
Could Bianca go look at the barn? Is that something I
Yeah.
can do while they're doing this? I'm
Yeah.
gonna go look at the barn.
Horses,
Since I know the area, I would think that I
Horses?
would kind of know a little bit about it.
cows. You've been to Raymond's house before, and you were there when he served the milk. You'd see the same ass bucket just sitting there by the cows. You know, couple of bulls out, near the barn, kind of just prancing about, doing bullshit.
Heck
I
yeah.
liked it.
Good pun. Good pun.
Okay, so nothing out of the ordinary. or
No,
anything like that.
it's definitely not what was here before. It was a very much smaller barn for his milking cows, but yeah, now he's got horses. He's got some nice looking saddles. A lot of stuff here.
Okay, I'd move on and wait out by the truck for everybody to be done.
Okay.
Would you at all check if that window is still broken?
The window's gone. I have the window. I have the glass. I've gone
I'm
where to
asking
It's a different
on this house. On this
Okay.
house.
The
Yeah,
house
would
is
you-
the house is different. So the house that
Okay.
you were looking at before, it was also ranch style, but it wasn't the same construction. It was a similar construction, but not the same.
Okay.
So yeah,
I
if,
was just checking.
if you gander at the back door, it's fine. It's in one piece. One pieced.
Heck yeah.
Good job.
One
Said
piece.
the
The
name
one
of the
piece. Okay. So anyway, you heading back into town.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get there, and I'm just leaving it open to you. I'll go ahead and move us back to the map. Be prepared, Zach.
Yep.
Here we're
You'll
going.
see. Bye, everybody.
Is he still alive?
He's
He's
still
good.
It looks like it's fine.
Oh, this is the little map. Okay.
Yeah,
No.
it's
We
not
need the
it's
big
not the
state
whole-
map.
Yeah, the
is
state
the one
map
that's
is. We're
worrisome.
not doing that. We're not doing that yet. Okay, cool. So we're good.
I
So-
totally thought you were saying that once we get back to his town, his character is just dead and gone. Like he
Oh,
disappeared.
no.
That would be funny.
I was like, what the
I
crap
never
happened?
came to Baiko.
I was gonna say, I was like, what happened?
Whoever sold me the big
Oh, I'm
mirror
gonna pee
died
my
of heart
pants.
attack
I
6
thought
years
you would-
ago.
I thought you and Zach had a plan or something
No,
together, and I was
no.
like,
Wouldn't
what?
Wouldn't that be funny?
No. The side conversations haven't begun.
Got it.
That they have
The
to
wealthy
after this session,
dilettante
so we'll get to that. But not
Henry
yet.
Fitzgerald.
You're back in town. Where would you like to go?
I'm personally a little anxious because of how much has changed and how little I have my head wrapped around it. I met the mayor for the first time today and made arrangements to stay in his home. I might swing by the mayor's office again just to check in
Okay.
and make sure he's the same person and make sure my sleeping arrangement held fast.
So you get there, and you have your man knock at the door. The attendant states that Mayor Baird will receive you, and it does appear that all of your arrangements are intact.
Outstanding. Forgive the intrusion, sir. I just wish to check in on my things and maybe a quick change of clothes for the evening.
Of course. Will
So
you be
I'll
supping?
go about.
Will you be supping with the mayor, or do you have other plans?
I met some gentlemen from Miskatonic this afternoon. You understand I intended to speak with Dr. Haynes.
Of course.
I believe I'll be supping with him, but I do intend to enjoy a meal with you before I leave Baiko.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
You go back up to your room, and there sits the well-contained. Right outside is your man. He doesn't go into the room. He leaves you to
Sure.
to dress and such. But sitting inside of your room, kind of on the far wall, in its containment and its kind of wrapping and the like, is the mirror.
We're not taking a bite of that quite yet. We're getting changed. We're heading back outside to
Had enough.
see what these rascally Massachusettsans are.
Had enough bites of shit sandwiches already. We don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck is happening. No need to fuck it up any further. Got it. That's a smart.
I don't need any more trauma cigarettes.
Smart.
These are meant to be just enjoyable.
The joy.
They
the
taste
absolute-
good like a cigarette should. They're Winston.
We're not doing cigarette ads, folks. We are
I'll have to
sponsored by-
Google if they existed.
What kind of cigarette? I guess most was like kind of hand rolled, wasn't it? Cigarettes.
I'm imagining that Henry's are hand rolled with $100 bills.
Pall Mall existed. Lucky Strike, Old Gold, Camel, Chesterfields, Philip Morris, just Philip Morris brand would just be the cigarettes. The Raleigh cigarettes, I don't know if those were later or earlier. Lucky
Not
Strike.
important.
Lucky Strike is probably it though, or Chesterfields.
Chesterfield sounds good.
That sounds like a rich person cigarette. Yeah.
Sorry.
No problem.
I'll rush back out to meet with the others. I just wanted to make sure my mirror was okay and
Seems to be.
I'm not, haven't met a different mayor that Kelvin might exist.
Oh no, sorry. They were Fatimas. Sorry, your cigarettes were Fatimas, and this is why. I'm sorry. They obviously were that cigarette. Right.
Nothing else will do.
Nothing else will do. Okay, so you get dressed. While that's happening, Arthur, Otmar, Raymond, Bianca in town. We've got Henry handled. Let's go ahead and do the next person on my docket. Bianca, what are you doing?
I would go back and check on the house like they suggested to make
The
sure.
girls.
Yeah,
Yep.
the girls in the house.
There is no proof, existence, notation, record of any kind whatsoever that Shirley has ever existed. Period.
That is. What do the girls say?
Who's Shirley? Is this a new girl you're bringing on? Including the girls that were with you when you were out of the house.
I was gonna say because those are about all the girls. I believe there might be one more. but yeah, I
Two
think
more? I think there's a total of
Yeah.
5. Well, Shirley's gone, so 4.
So even the 2 that were with me don't know her.
No idea.
She was a prospect I was looking at. She needed a home and needed somewhere to stay. Maybe she just didn't show up, I guess.
Yeah. Scouring through everything, you kind of go through some stuff, and then you find a bottom drawer that you keep kind of more secret documents. You pop it open, and inside you see that there are 2, just out and about, very ornate looking hair combs. They look like they're made out of like a high polished wood, similar in kind to most of the wood you've been interacting with throughout this engagement. And what you seem to notice is that they have a very strange kind of shape of 2 hands together, kind of like this. So that would be like the bridge of the comb. And at the top of the hands is a face that is very angelic. And if you looked at the coat hanger, it seems to be the angelic face that was at the head of the snake, the angel face snake.
Would I have seen the coat hanger? I didn't see the coat hanger.
I'm sure you did, because it got moved around a
You
bit.
would have seen it. We were like hauling it out of
Yeah.
the field and into Raymond's truck.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
You probably got a good look at it.
And was not there originally. That's not mine.
You don't recognize these combs. These are not combs that you're aware of ever having or ever having seen.
I would put them up. I saw the professor wrap the mirror up, right?
Yeah.
I would find a cloth and I'd do the same thing to wrap them up. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like it's one of the things how it's like I'm just trying to learn off him. He seemed to know what he was
For
doing.
Arthur, it's a protective measure. For you, it's a superstition. So it's kind
Right.
of... I
Exactly.
understand. Totally fine. You kind of like grab the cloth, wrap them up, put them into your purse, and then on about your business.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and move to Mr. Haynes. What are we doing once you get back into town and Henry goes to the mayor's house to get situated?
Yep. Otmar and Arthur are going to the library. I think Otmar said that's what you want to do as well, right?
Yes.
There
Let's
is
do that.
no library. So the only thing that you have that has kind of records and records keeping would be Village Hall.
Village Hall. Let's do that.
Yep.
Okay. So you go back and
I think we all agreed to meet at the library. Would the mayor have at least include me in? Yeah, that doesn't exist. They
Village
must
Hall.
be in the village hall. Okay. I don't want to be wandering this.
I'm not crazy, right? I don't see a marker that says library, right? Because I'm pretty sure I didn't have one.
There's workshops now.
Yeah. The school
It's
has
a
a
pretty
library,
simple
but
school.
it's mostly children's book that people forget they
Sure.
read back when they were a
Yep.
kid, and then luckily had a Canadian tell
Village
them
hall
about.
makes the most sense, I guess.
Right. So then you go in, you speak to the custodian again, and he says, "Oh, the mayor passed off the information that I gathered for you, Mr. Haynes, to your friend, Mr. Henry Fitzgerald, the broker from New York.
Very good. Thank you.
If I can help you find any other materials, I'm more than happy to help."
Do you have a town records room?
Of course.
Okay. Can you show us to it?
Absolutely. Takes you to
Thank
it.
you.
Is
Great.
there anything in particular you're looking for?
We're looking for any records that have to do with sales of land.
Sure. Are you looking for
And
specific properties?
specifically, yep, the old Revels property.
Hasn't been sold since its inception as a plot of land as agricultural space. It has belonged
sorry.
to the Revels family since 1832. Before that, it was the property of the United States government, and it was utilized as a training field for the military.
I was under the impression that one Adam Gaudin bought that property a couple of years ago. No, it's not in your records.
Well, Guttons didn't really have any property. They had a home, I suppose, but it was mostly owned by the Kelvin household.
Wait, hold on now. So where's the Godin property, and where is the Kelvin household?
So the Kelvins own the rooming house and a number of properties thereabouts. The longhouse over there, kind of a small drinking hole, and out of character, the drinking hole is named the Gauche. And that's the long building that's at the end of the roaming houses. You see it there?
Yeah, and you said Gauch or something?
Gauche.
Gouch.
I'm trying to make sure the word is the word I mean.
Is it like the
Gauche, meaning lacking ease or grace, unsophisticated and socially awkward. The
Gauche, yeah.
Gauche. Sorry, I can't say words properly.
That's all right. No, got it.
You're reading it. It's okay.
Yes, no problem. Yeah.
The Gauche.
So he owns. So this Kelvin character, is he still alive?
Well, the current head of the household is a Henry Kelvin,
Okay.
and yeah, he's still alive.
Where does he live?
He has a house at the end of the Kelvin estates or Kelvin homes. So this is the main Kelvin estate, and then all of these other buildings are ones that he rents. And then the rooming house is basically where he lets people who are kind of coming into Baiko and need a place to stay temporarily, where they're allowed to stay. It's basically like a boarding house or a hostel.
So this is the Kelvin house right here, as you're saying, right?
Correct. That is the main estate.
Okay. And you're being really helpful. How about the Gowden property? Where's that?
So the Gowdens used to live at I think it was 3 Kelvin Lane, which would be this one here. And
Okay.
they moved out back in 1903. I believe they went to Arkham, and he kind of pulls some notes. And Oh, right. And he pulls out a 1903 newspaper clipping from the town. It's like a weekly newspaper. And Arthur, this is a moment in time that I want to make sure I capitalize on and I express the gravity of very sincerely.
You mean this moment right now or 1903?
The moment that we're having in game
Okay.
right now.
Yep.
When the paper is put before you and it shows a number of people who moved to the city of Arkham in 1903 and the well wishes that people had for them for leaving, the list of names isn't important to you. The date isn't important to you. The paper isn't important to you. The only thing that matters to Arthur is the spelling of the name of the city of Arkham. It is spelled Arkham.
We're back in my world, baby. Okay.
It sounds like everything's how it should be. We should
So
stop.
when Otmar sees that,
It's
that
over.
is not the way that Arkham is supposed to be spelled.
Yeah. I would keep that. Would Arthur be at all show any excitement to seeing that?
I don't know, Andy. Would Arthur show any sort of excitement upon seeing that?
I mean, his eyebrows would certainly raise, and he
But-
might mutter something like, "I knew it."
I knew it, and kind of share a glance with Otmar.
I would ask what he knew. I'd be like,
What are you
"Is there
talking
something we
about?
both should know?"
Oh, then he would say, yeah, I mean, it's just silly, but I've always had this sense that the Arkham spelled Arkam was just wrong, and I always thought it had an H in it. And look, here it is.
But it's not with an H.
But it should be with an H, and this proves me right.
The custodian says, it's always been with an H.
I would look at Arthur and be like, I feel that this is a bigger conversation than just a random letter. And we should have that outside of this company.
Does it have anything to do with the and hey ears, May?
Oh god, I'm gonna pee my pants.
People
Oh.
still regularly studied Latin back then.
Pig or not. The custodian does not seem to catch the reference.
Perfect, just as I intended.
My obfuscation worked.
I would actually just look over at the attendant and say, "Can I have a moment? Can we have a moment between colleagues?"
Of
Just real
course.
quick?"
So long as none of the property here is taken with you, I trust that you as academics won't do anything like that. And he kind of just mutters on as he wanders off.
Okay, and I would look over and very, very honestly be like, "It's never been spelled with an H. What do you mean it's spelled with an H now?"
So
Yeah.
Arthur would say, "Look, Otmar, I think something really strange is happening here. From everything that we've been able to put together, it seems like there might be some other world adjacent to this world, or maybe multiple versions, right? We saw that in the mirror. Could what's happening mean that we're traversing back and forth? Do we belong in different versions?" His head is starting to, it's like,
Yeah, same with Otmar's. It's starting to swell almost to the point. We need to see if we can think of anything else. Major events, major incidences that were different for us.
right. So it's hard for you to do that so far from home. We could talk to.
I'm thinking in the general sense, like elections, like large elections,
Ah.
wars, battles, like things that would have shaped history for our generation.
You are
Because
sitting
we're-
in the seat of historical capability that is available to you in the town of Byko. If you wish to go to a better library, we'll need to go to Arkham.
Yeah, I
currently
think
spelled
that,
with an H.
Right. What I would like to do is to just talk with some of the residents of Baiko. That would be Raymond and Bianca for sure, and see if they noticed anything different. And then I guess I'd like to head back to Arkham to check in on the university to see if, do I still have my job there?
That's
I don't.
very true.
Um, I don't know what's going on, but I mean, and that would give us better access to some research, because we need to find out more about the notes that I took on Gabriel's artifacts, the carvings, and all that.
Okay.
I will happily take your lead on this. Just know once we have better resources, I feel like part of this should be us going through and seeing if there are any differences between our own memories.
And one more thing, this is just luck, but there's a meeting coming up soon of the Hermetic Order of the Eternal Dawn that we might want to sit in on so we could ask questions there.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I want to close out with Raymond. See what Raymond is wanting to do in town. Since we've
I'm
got
going to go drink.
Okay, you go to the Gauche, whatever. I already forgot the hegemony, and upon arrival, you go in to drink. You've already been there today, and the barkeep, who's a guy named Marcus Kelvin. He's a younger brother of the main Kelvin. He says, "Oh, back already? Where's your date?" Gives you a smile.
She had other business to attend to.
She's always busy, isn't she, that Bianca? What do you have?
Yup. Same as earlier.
Yep. And pours you a drink, even though it's illegal.
Yep.
FICO don't care. And looks at you. Says, "Doing okay?"
Yeah, better than I thought.
Yeah, we don't see you out here that much, but it's good to see you. I just hope, you're not drinking to assuage any kind of maladies that are happening in your life or anything.
Nah, this is more of worked hard enough, got the stuff. Now I'm just kind of relaxing.
Yeah. That's good. And, glad you worked. You're doing great stuff out there. And I'm glad Baird has made it so, amicable for folks like us, folks like you, folks like everyone in town, so we don't have to deal with the stupid, puritanical laws of the government coming in through, the White House and everything.
Yep.
Just glad you've really shaped up to be a proud descendant of your father and your grandfather.
Yeah. It seems like everything's changed so fast.
That's true. But you've, taken the reins. You've jumped right into it. And I like that. That's what Baiko needs. And I think I think the rebels have always been a very strong, force for good in town. Same with us Calvins, I guess. Baird's all right. My dad was, really concerned about getting the mayoralship. But, I think Baird's a good enough guy. And obviously, him looking the other way on a lot of things has helped us out, helped you out. And that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely put in some good work. See any strange faces around anymore these days?
Strange faces. Well, some folks came in the bus today. Some went to the rooming house, but nobody too different. There was that weird professor guy who some folks were talking about being on Avebury, but not too much about that. One with a straw hat and the kind of southern look. That's about it. Oh, the rich guy that came over to, Mayor Baird's house. You know anything about that?
I know he came in town looking for the other two, so.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I guess they have, some kind of a business they gotta attend to, and they chose to do it here.
Hey, money coming into Baiko's money coming into Baiko. I don't care who's spending it.
Exactly.
If you get a chance to talk to them, tell them, well, as long as they keep their lips sealed, they're welcome to come on over.
Yup. I'll let them know.
All
They
right.
seem like the secret keeping type.
Very good, very good. So yeah, you obviously get a feeling like, it's about the same, but it's different. Like you seem to be in kind of a bit more kind of connected a position. Like they obviously are nicer to you. Is there any questions you have about the situation? Anything you want to kind of focus in on there, Brent?
No,
Yeah.
no, I think I'm good.
Okay.
I think Raymond is definitely relaxing to see stuff. He's having a pretty good little time right now for sure. He's
Everything's
definitely riding a
Things are
high.
going his way.
everything's
Yeah.
different, but everything's good. Yeah. I mean, based on those documents, you got about like, a dozen folks working for you. It's different.
For
Um,
sure.
and then Bianca, you got the Combs. Probably want to get back in contact with, at least Arthur and Otmar, maybe Henry too. Henry, you change and kind of refuse to kind of engage with Amir, keeping a distance from it, knowing that things have been fucked up quite royally by this situation, with no understanding or concern as to why, or like explanation as to why, not concern. And Arthur and Otmar are very much understanding now that things are not what they were. And yeah, that's where I think I'll end this session for tonight. We will start next session with a decision. I'm going to have a conversation off screen with a couple of folks here. Do want to kind of sort out some ideas I'm having here for next session. And I want to thank everybody for watching, those that did, and we will see you next week.